The few drivers that actually went back to Europe between Australia and this race, most of them stayed out here to get fit. And look at this, Raikkonen's blown up.
That's a blown motor from Raikkonen. We assume it looks that way. It's coming through it's coming through the left bank exhaust, and it seems as if Raikkonen, he was squirming around in that last corner. Maybe he's losing some oil, and I think a lick of flame under there too. I saw briefly. So the second McLaren retires. Ted, what can you tell us?
Well, I've been looking at the mechanics who've been taking apart David Coulthard's car. Now, they've been looking at the engine on Coulthard's car. Now, I can't say for sure because I don't know, but it does look like it's a Mercedes-Benz engine failure for both of these cars now, but we don't know that for certain as yet, Martin.
Okay, well, I said yesterday that the paddock gossip is they're a little bit down on power, but he certainly didn't seem to lack power down the straights, but unfortunately he has lacked reliability, and we don't know for sure what Coulthard's problem was, but that pretty much looked like an engine failure, didn't it?
Yes, Coulthard had an engine. Going to become too great for him, or is he going to take the safe option and just follow his brother home? What's this? What's this smoke? It's a McLaren. Is that Raikkonen?
I think it is Raikkonen, is it not? Yes, it is. Raikkonen braking too late into turn 4. It seems, oh, lucky that didn't roll over. I think he's damaged his right. Yes, he has broken the right rear suspension. He is quite obviously going to be out of the Grand Prix, even if he gets out of the gravel trap. So Kimi Raikkonen looks like he lost the back end under braking. It's a little bit ripply down there, or he could have had a suspension failure. I'd put it on a touch too late on the brakes. Let's wait and find out. Look at this lead battle.
Part of the race to really pull away from his teammate.
Kimi Raikkonen. This is the second and we believe final stop. Oh, and he's retiring. Raikkonen has pulled out. He drove back into the pits. As a second pit stop, we thought that was a scheduled stop, but he's just driven straight into the pits. The garage will be closed immediately. It's normal for McLaren to put up the shutters. They will not want anybody to know or look and see what may have been the problem. Raikkonen looks rearwards, which indicates that maybe engine or gearbox related. Two Jaguars coming into turn 7 and 8. If he's here, another part of bodywork, and McLaren has shared a part of its bodywork, I think.
Panis on the move here. Olivier Panis trying to get past Frentzen. It doesn't quite come off, and Frentzen currently in 10th. Pound, it's rear wing of Raikkonen. It's the rear wing of Raikkonen. Well spotted, John. And McLaren rear wing. Well, we lost a Minardi rear wing. Was that contact? We didn't see anything. Who was behind Raikkonen? It was Jenson Button. And well, there's no evidence yet of any damage on his car.
And there we see the remains of that rear wing. And again, on the main straight, the fastest part of the circuit, Kimi Raikkonen driving around the racetrack. You saw him.
Grand Prix, perhaps the pressure gets to him. Now let's take a look at the background. Watch for the McLaren.
There it is.
Goes the rear wing.
It just literally fell off. That rear wing just almost seemed to tumble off the back of the McLaren. Again, Raikkonen able to keep the car in control. Maybe he had a presence of mind to sense something had gone wrong. He maybe felt it. There's the back of Raikkonen's car. You can see Irvine comes past as he makes his way back to the pits. I mean, it's... Again, the main support for the ring, that main beam that attaches to the gearbox is there. It appears that the problem, the left-hand side of that rear wing, the right-hand side wing end plate is just lying over. So whether, again, which I can't believe I've had 2 rear wing failures in the space of 4 hours here at the Spanish Grand Prix.
Very much a cause for concern. And the question is, John, what about David Coulthard? Is the team, seeing this, going to have to do something about David Coulthard?
I think the first thing to find out is, was there any contact that could have caused the parts in the car? They're just going to park the car. I think Kimi Raikkonen has decided we're not going to take part in any further races here this afternoon. Now, as you say, Ben, what are they going to do with David Coulthard? Is this a one-off? Was there contact with another car on the track? The turn 1, he can maintain it if he doesn't overshoot it again. Is that a blow-up?
That's McLaren.
It is Kimi Raikkonen.
Again! Kimi Raikkonen again is a non-finisher. I can't believe this man's record this year.
And there's little flames flicking from the rear of the car as Mario Illen of Ilmor, the man who's responsible for the design and manufacture of these Mercedes-Benz engines, looks in disbelief. And Kimi Raikkonen, just speaking to the team, takes the steering wheel off, climbs out. And of course he must replace the steering wheel. It is mandatory to do so as the marshals dump some of that extinguisher back on the back of the car. But Kimi Raikkonen race over at the beginning of the 6th lap. In the Toyota, and Nick Castello's got plenty of straight line squirt with his V10 power. There's the blow up from Kimi Raikkonen. That went off. Well, fireworks haven't been any better than that.
That was a big cloud of smoke from the back of Kimi Raikkonen's car. Side as well, where the tire... Oh, we've got an accident, and that's Schumacher, isn't it? Or it's Barrichello. It's Barrichello, I'm afraid, who's hit the back of Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen's in trouble as well. Raikkonen and Barrichello in the battle for sixth, and it looks as though contact has put them both out.
Well, Rubens come down very close behind the back of Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen, of course, defending into the chicane. Now noseless, wingless. Let's watch again. Raikkonen always on the racing line. Barrichello just too late, no way to slow down. And, well, gets into the back of Raikkonen's Mercedes fairly heavily, gets the nose of his Ferrari up in the air. Let's look at the forward view of the situation. This one's down to Rubens. He made an error, a driving error. Raikkonen is the victim, so both drivers penalised for a great battle that was taking place for the sixth place.
Well, that is disappointment for the Brazilian after giving way in Austria. Now a mistake, a driving mistake on his behalf, and he's out. And both cars are in the pits now. Can they get them both out again? Are they sufficiently okay? They're having a good look. Look at that rear wing, John. It's moving a lot.
I think that wing, I think they've got to take the wing off and change it, put a new total assembly on. That'll take some considerable time. Barrichello gets out of the pit lane, and in the meantime we heard from Takuma Sato, the young Japanese driver who crashed in the tunnel. He said, basically what I was trying to do was get out of the way of my teammate, but I just made an error too far to the left and hit the wall very heavily, and he apologises to the team and to his mechanics, to every penalised by having to come back in and take a 10-second stop-go penalty.
It's the sixth non-finish in 7 Grand Prix if Kimi Raikkonen doesn't get back out, although it's really been an up-and-down day. And here
Kimi Raikkonen. So Raikkonen is out. Raikkonen was running in 10th place. Another engine failure.
What a good move, but sad news for Kimi Raikkonen. Well, it all went wrong with the extra pit stops they made and poor tyre choice, as it turned out, in the weather conditions.
Yes, that 1:19.4 was 2/10 slower than his previous lap, and that gap between Raikkonen's got a puncture, I believe, left rear it is. That's the reason why Kimi Raikkonen was losing time. The left rear, he's picked up something, no doubt, in the tyre eventually. Has just said, I've had enough, and cried, and that's what you see. Look at it, look, watch that left rear, and it already has gone down. Well, that was somehow or other he'd picked up a puncture. The tyre eventually loses the pressure, it superheats, and eventually it just says enough. So huge disappointment for Kimi Raikkonen and his chances of maintaining that 5th place.
No,
and
that's
a big
a
lock-up, and that's it there. Well, that's the tyre, in fact, rather than the lock-up. Down at the hairpin bend.
They do look very worn, those rear tyres, John. If you wore that one, look at the one on the other side.
Take it easy, Kimi. All you're going to do is tear the rear of the car and the suspension apart. He's got to stay out of the way as race leader comes through.
Look at the bits of rubber.
3 wheels on my wagon, and it's all over the place.
Into the gravel he goes. He's got nothing he can do about it at all. No grip on that side of the car. The yellows come out.
Good aerodynamics for the aerodynamicist. Got a good idea of how the underbody and the diffuser on the McLaren works. Replay that one a few times, guys. You might learn something.
He's got a left-hander coming up. At least he might be able to make it round there. But the 2 corners coming back into the pits are going to be hard work because they're 2 right-handers. Here was the moment where the tyre really started to shred. Watch for the bits of rubber here. They started flying off big time. There we go.
Jumps out. There we see Raikkonen gets back into the pits. Difficult to get the jack under that rear. Brand new set of tyres go on. Fuel goes in. Changes the strategy for the McLaren. Well, you have to check that left. That left rear is still being checked to make sure there's no damage to any of those suspension components. It's critical. Now, if Kimi came in too quick, well, he's out of the pits. They had to have a look and make sure there was no damage. Oro's in 6th place. No, there's an off. That's Mark Webber.
No, it's one of the McLarens, John. It's Raikkonen. It's Raikkonen who's gone off.
Is that the result of the brake problem? That's in turn, the final turn, the south curve. Coming onto pit straight. And I just saw the back wing, the black back wing. And Kimi Raikkonen, look at the look on the faces of the entire McLaren team in the garage, is saying, well, why was he doing that? He didn't have a problem and he wasn't under threat. All we wanted him to do was bring the car home. Well, give him marks for trying.
Yeah, and of course, this just shows how Grand Prix racing can lift you so high one week. 2nd place and nearly the Grand Prix win at Manicourt, and this time he's out of the race. And indeed, it's in trouble about.
Well, there we see Kimi well and truly backwards before he gets to the Sud curve. And that barrier very close to the edge of the track. Claimed Rubens Barrichello. And, well, not many serious damage to the car. As you see, his foot hard on the brakes. And there the gravel not doing very much to slow the car down. Wallops the right rear, but it's all coming out of the left-hand side. Well, there's the blue haze. It is now an absolute... On that side, he's going to stop. He can't even make it back to the pits. So that's up at the top of the circuit at Lake Coombe. And Kimi Raikkonen's weekend is over with a bang.
That is such a shame. He had a run of bad reliability earlier on this season, lost an engine in Malaysia very dramatically, remember, also had an engine go at the A1 ring, but what a shame. Germany too, ultimately. Sorry, the British Grand Prix had an engine failure as well, but it's Raikkonen out after his great qualifying performance yesterday. So he clambers out, and it's just the end of a disappointing day. What it does do, of course, John, brings somebody else into the points.
Ralf Schumacher now comes into the points because he was running in 7th place, so he'll now be 6th, and Eddie Irvine will go up as well into 7th, and well, there's a sad end. We just noticed that it's strange of the parabolica, so as Juan Pablo Montoya, and Kimi Raikkonen blew up, second race in succession. He suffered a mechanical failure. Kimi Raikkonen is out of this race on the run down to parabolica, and this is the reason why Kimi Raikkonen's Mercedes-Benz engine erupts, and that is a tragic and sad end for the young Finn. A troubled weekend, caught in an issue with Takuma Sato. He also had a retirement for similar reasons 2 weekends ago in Belgium.
Yeah, he's been out of luck this year. Lot of retirements, in fact, for Kimi Raikkonen, and another bitterly disappointing way to end this weekend's competition. Salo who's come in, so that
experience should not get caught by that. Now we see, Kimi Raikkonen has blown up.
Again.
The problem that we had seen, we thought it was an engine problem. It didn't sound like it when he made his second pit stop, or first pit stop, but clearly it was a problem. Yet again, the Finn is out.
The 11th non-finish in 16 Grand Prix for Kimi Raikkonen, and similar to in Italy at Monza and at Spa, the last 2 Grand Prix, the Raikkonen seems to be getting all of the bad luck at McLaren Mercedes. He does not want any help. He's become very used to getting out of a Grand Prix car before the checkered flag is seen. Now, Villeneuve's made his...
into the second sector. Here's Raikkonen, he comes out of turn 7, and all of a sudden, and just behind, indeed, you then point out, Mercedes-Benz advertising, and, well, it can't get more ironic, I think, than that.
Great shame. Villeneuve, we'll just take a look at some of the onboard. Well, this is where as he went past that engine blow up, and you can see that was Panis just going through, and that was the explosion, if you like, and the oil and water and muck being thrown out.
Yeah, so